don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what I'm doing?
Well, I knew what you were doing in the challenge. Knew what you were on in the challenge. But no, I think everyone's chilled.
Okay.
What are you on?
Me?
What are you on?
I feel like I've made my interest really clear.
Yeah.
If you've followed my channel for a while, you know on every show that I watch, I have a favorite person or favorite couple. And here we go. I am here for Kaz. Okay, I'm a Kaz stan. I love her. And the fact that she's going after Louis Guns Blazing, I love even more. I think they have great banter. I hope they couple up. I'm here for them. And Toby and Georgia S. What can I say? Toby and Georgia S. Georgia S is gone. If she could close off on day one, she would have closed off. I'm surprised the guys still are putting pressure on her because she's not feeling them. But hey, it is what it is. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island All Stars, Season 1, Episode 2. So Callum picks Molly. Am I surprised? No. I agree with Toby that he wanted Georgia S, but Georgia didn't seem interested in him and she was hiding herself right into Toby. If she could get into his clothes or his skin, she really showed with her body language that she wasn't interested. And besides, it's better the devil you know than an angel you don't. So I think it's better he sort of irons out things with Molly and makes sure they're on the same page, and then he can move on to whoever else he wants to couple up with. So after the recoupling, they sit down, the boys sit down, the girls sit down having a chat, and the conversations are two totally different points of view, in the sense that you have Callum telling the guys that he and Molly ended things on good terms. There's no bad blood, there's no animosity, so he's open to the idea that, they could always get back together again, but it just depends on a couple of things that need to be ironed out. Whereas Molly's there telling the girls that, I kept having videos sent to me, messages sent to me, which I felt were very disrespectful. And so I feel he should have acted differently. If he wants me back, he has to graft. And it's like, well, so you're still open to getting back to him then? Because if you were not, you'd be like Liberty, but you're still open to getting to know him. There is a possibility that the two of you might have just broken up just to be on the show, in my opinion, because it's too convenient for the two of you to have broken up and then, be okay to getting back together. They are no different to Liberty and Toby. Liberty and Toby, I feel like they were together at the end of Love Island Games, split up, and then they come back to Love Island All Stars as though they've split up, because their body language when they're talking, you can see there's something there. Yes, Toby is trying to be a bit standoffish, but Liberty is gone. She is smitten. She's happy to be coupled up with Toby. She thinks the public, did a great thing. And she's more or less saying to Toby, I'm here, I'm happy to be with you, I'm open to being with you. And he's sort of, if you still want to get to talk to other people, that's okay. This is part of Love Island. And it's like, Toby, so are you just in a couple with her the same way you were in a couple with Celie, just for convenience sake? And once you find your person, you're moving on. I think Georgia needs to protect herself. I think she needs to protect her heart, because Toby, there is a chance he might break it. There is a very strong possibility that he might break her heart. And then we have Hannah having a chat with Anton. That couple, I don't get it. I'm always put off by Hannah's cosmetic surgery. That sort of distracts me. I know she's really open to the idea of finding love. She thinks she's a big personality, and at times guys are put off by it. And for me, I think there's a bit more. I think you need to sort of work on yourself and ask yourself, what do I want in a guy? Especially at 33 and being a single mother, I think she needs to do that. I think, Anton is just humoring her. I think he's just humoring her. Do I think he sees anything with her? I don't think so. She did ask him, are you happy that we're coupled up? And he said yes, but I think he's just humoring her. And then Mitch and Kaz. Mitch and Kaz are that crazy couple that you never knew you needed. They remind me of Scottisha and Whitney. Their friendship, because their facial expressions during the recoupling, their reactions, their commentary was just hilarious. So they sit down, they have a conversation, and they agree that they're in a friendship couple. They will be great friends. They agree to be great friends. And it's like, this is how Mitch got himself in trouble in his season. He befriended Jess very quickly, and then when it turned out that nobody was interested in him, he tried to run the block back to Jess, but it was too late. And it's a pity that he's decided to friend zone Kaz, because he might not find his person in Liberty. He's hoping to continue to talk to Liberty, but Liberty, I think, is just using him. I don't think she's as sweet as she makes out, given the clip that I saw from, this episode, which I will discuss at the point when I get to it. I'm very curious because you have Jake, Callum, and Anton having a conversation, and they're sort of asking Callum, what happened? How did you break up? What was the reason behind your breakup? And the fact that Anton is sort of trying to corner Callum into saying exactly what happened, and whether he's bothered that Molly's there, or whether he's worried that, he will have to witness her with somebody else. And it's like, please don't. Please don't. If you're interested in Molly, just sit down with him and just say, hi, I know you broke up. I know you said it's been 6 months. Do you mind if I get to know her? Because she's someone I would really want to get to know. That's it. There's no need for you to try and corner someone and expect them to sort of reveal the intimate details of their relationship on national TV. That doesn't make sense. That's just petty and very childish. So you then have Liberty pull Hannah for a chat, asking for advice, because she says, Jake is avoiding me. He's been avoiding me. I feel like he's trying to avoid me. And it's like, Liberty, that's in your head. That's in your head. It's surprising that she's very ballsy and very bold on this Love Island All-Stars, when she was just, on Love Island Games, she was in the background. She appeared like a deer in headlights. She looked like she didn't know what was going on. She was very sweet. She was very vulnerable. But the way she's been behaving thus far around Jake, I don't like it. I think it's shown me a side of Liberty that I don't like, and something that she needs to work on herself. She goes and she has this conversation with Jake, and it's like, if you were that interested in having this conversation, the moment the two of you arrived in the villa, that's when you should have had the conversation, because you were offered the opportunity by everyone to have a conversation, but you said, no, we're good. So why then try and make something out of nothing just because you've been coupled up? You both know there's nothing romantic there. You both know you're just sharing a bed, and that's it. So why try and make it seem like Jake is, very bitter because he's suddenly been coupled up with you? What did you do? What did you say? Why want to sort of make it seem like he's the bad guy? I don't like it. I think she's the one who feels some type of way. I think she expected him to be broken. I think she expected him to be pining after her. And the fact that he doesn't even seem bothered is what is grating her nerves, in my opinion. I find it interesting that it's barely 24 hours and everybody's writing off their relationship. The only person who hasn't written off a relationship or her couple is Georgia S. Everybody else has written off their couple, in my opinion, because you have Anton have a conversation with Georgia S, and it's sort of saying to her, where do you stand? Are you happy that you're in a couple with Toby? Does that mean you're closed off? Does that mean you're still open to getting to know me? And it's like, yeah, that's a good question to ask. But still, maybe just introduce yourself, get to know who she is, and then ask her whether she's open to getting to know you, unless you don't want to open that door and sort of create a relationship or some sort of friendship with someone who you're not going to be romantically involved with. He's then asked, how are things going with Hannah? And he says, oh, I don't see anything romantic. I could tell from his body language that he didn't see anything romantic. And it's sad that all these people have been on this show before, and this is their second, third time round, and they're already sealing things off and friend zoning each other. Instead of saying, okay, I'm still open to getting to know her. I don't know whether or not there'll be something romantic, but we'll see how we go. The only person is Georgia, who's saying, I'm happy to be in a couple with Toby. I'm happy. She hasn't written him off. Even when they had their conversation, they both agreed they're open to getting to know one another and continuing where they are, but they're also open to getting to know other people. I wish everybody else had behaved the same, but hey, it is what it is. This all-star cast, oh my God. Anyway, so eventually Callum and Molly have a conversation. Obviously, she says she didn't like the fact that once they broke up, he just completely cut things off. And it's like, what do you expect? When you break up with someone, you have to cut things off. You have to heal yourself. And then eventually, if you want to create a friendship, then you create a friendship. But you first need to separate. If you're going to separate and sort of heal yourself and learn your lessons from that relationship, and then decide what you want to do with in regards the person you're in a relationship with. Do you want to continue a friendship? Do you want to completely cut off ties, or what is it you want? So I didn't get their argument. I think they were just looking for something to say on TV. That's my opinion. All the islanders go to bed, and you have Anton talking about the fact that, oh, you know, I still want to get to know Georgia S, but she's in a couple with Toby. And the guys are saying, oh, but you can still try and explore things. And it's like, you can try. That's if she's open to it. Yes, she said you do sort of encompass the same values or the same beliefs, but still you have to graft. You can't say Toby's stopping you. Toby said he's not going to stop anyone. He doesn't need to stop anyone. Georgia's the one who's going to stop everyone. That's just my opinion. Everybody gets into bed, and you have Liberty saying, oh, you know, I don't know why she keeps making these sarcastic remarks about Jake. If she didn't like Jake, if she's the one who broke things off, if it's been a couple of years, why be sarcastic and rude? Why not just move on and show your growth? I don't like the way she's coming across this season. I really don't. Everybody goes to bed, and surprise, surprise, everybody's backs are turned to their partner, except for Demi and Chris. Whatever they were doing under that duvet, only the two of them know. I know they spoke about wanting to cuddle, and that their love language for Demi is physical touch, so I don't know what they were physically touching underneath. Toby and Georgia S, am I surprised? No. They are smitten. As soon as they come across one another, it seems like they rekindle from wherever they left off. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the two of them. I have a feeling they're going to end up being a couple, and they're going to get each other to the end, unless Toby splits them up, if there is a Casa Amor. So in the morning, they have a debriefing. I don't know why. I hate debriefings. Oh my God. Anyway, so you have the guys chatting, and it seems like everybody wants to try it out with Molly, because you have Lewis say that Toby and Jake, I think, they all said they really want to. No, it wasn't Jake, it was Anton. They all said they wanted to give it a go with Molly to see if, they could sway her or turn her head. And it's like, why is it every single time there's always this blonde girl that everybody's fighting over? Why, when there are other more better looking girls or girls with better personalities out there, do all the guys always go for the same type of girl? Is it because the producers are asking the guys who they like or what sort of girl they're after, and then they're casting people that will chase after one girl? The same thing happened with Molly last season. And then you have Georgia S and Georgia H having a conversation with Demi, and Georgia H asks, oh, how are things going with Chris? And it's like, why? What is it about Chris that you like? I think Chris is actually worse than Mitch. That says a lot in my books. Chris, I think he's too pompous. That's what I don't like about him. And he's too, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe him. Anyway, once Demi leaves, you have Georgia S ask Georgia that, why did you ask about Chris? Are you still interested in Chris? Is it you trying to sort of suss out their situation and see where they stand? And it's like, I don't know. The fact that Georgia H close things off with Lewis, I don't get. I think Lewis comes across as a great guy. I hope, if nothing else, Kaz gives him a shot. I hope she gives him a shot, because she might actually be pleasantly surprised. Instead of chasing after people that are not interested in her, I think instead of piling up on Chris, she needs to try and sort of swerve and sort of try things out with Lois. You have the girls encouraging Molly that, you need to have conversations with other guys so that, it doesn't seem like you're closed off, since you say you and Callum have had a conversation and are happy to move on. Toby, I think, is going to chase Molly just for the sake of it, just because he doesn't want to appear as though he's been wifed off. As he said, he doesn't want people to think he's been wifed off. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Oh, now it's getting good. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love this for Lewis. I love this for Lewis because he is having he's pulled for a chat by Molly, and Molly seems interested in him. But then when they're talking, she's sort of saying, "Are you scared of my ex?" And it's like, maybe don't bring your ex into a conversation with a guy you're trying to get to know. He seemed cool with her. He had already expressed that he liked her. So I don't know. I actually preferred this conversation with Kaz because there was a lot of banter and they were actually eye to eye contact. Even though they had shades on, they kept looking at each other and they sort of grasped each other's lingo and the fact there was something there. And I really want this for Kaz and Lewis, and I hope they stay together as a couple. They need to recouple and leave the mess with everybody else. They need to recouple, stay them, and just be cool and get themselves to the end. Mitch has a conversation with Liberty. I think that's going to be a strategic relationship for Mitch. I think it's going to be strategic because you were saying to her, we are taking things slow and we are going to be like this for the next 5 weeks. And it's like, Mitch is looking at the long game. He's not bothered about today. He's worried about, will I still be here until the final week? That's all he's worried about. Everything else, he doesn't care. I think he deserves Liberty. Liberty gets what she deserves. Because of the way she's behaved towards Jake, I think she gets what she deserves with Mitch. If he treats her like crap, that's what she deserves. Because she hasn't portrayed herself in the best of lights, in my opinion, on this season. I liked her in Love Island Games, but here I don't. And then you have... Lewis is in demand. He is in demand because he's pulled by Demi for a chat and she's sort of saying, yesterday I stepped next to you just because I find you attractive. And he was talking, but I think he had a better vibe with Kaz. I think even Mitch and Liberty said that, Lewis had a great vibe with Kaz. So I really hope, if nothing else, he couples up with Kaz. I think she is better for him than any of the other girls in the villa at the moment, in my opinion. So the islanders gather around the fire pit and they have to drink, a glass of champagne and then sort of read what it says at the bottom. And Kaz is the first one up and she gets to, kiss whoever she would like to share a bed with. And she obviously, with Mitch, they've agreed their friendship vibes. I wouldn't have expected anything else from Mitch because of the way he treated people like Whitney, Catherine, on his season, so I'm not surprised that he didn't find her attractive. So she goes over round from the girls until she gets to the guys and she goes for Lois. I'm happy she went for Lois because she had told him she was attracted to him. So the fact that she went and she straddled him and kissed him, even he said she knocked his face off. I think they'll make a great couple. I think people will actually be surprised. They'll make a great couple. People mocked Tanya and Shaq, and yet they're still together. I think they would be a great couple. I think they would not be toxic. I think they would just be a bubbly, happy-go-lucky couple. Is because of Kaz's personality. Lois didn't seem to mind the kiss, though. He seemed to enjoy it. Chris was next up. He had to twerk on the islander he fancied the most. And this was a good thing there for him because he had 3 girls step up to him initially saying that they really liked him. So to have him be asked to sort of pick the girl that he likes was important so that the girls can take a step back and focus on other people, because I don't think he's all that. I think the only reason people would want him is because he's been in this Barbie movie for 3 seconds. And so he chose Molly, and you could tell Callum felt some type of way. He didn't say anything, but from his facial expression you could tell he wasn't into this. He didn't like it, and I get it. Georgia was up next. She had to perform a sexy sort of, I think they wanted her to give a lap dance and sort of a kiss to her favorite person, and she went for Toby. And for me, it's like, make it make sense. It's either Toby's it for you, or you're just doing it with him because it's most comfortable for you. But I think it's becoming a bit too obvious that Georgia is not willing to turn her head for anyone. I think the only way she's not going to be with Toby is if Toby moves on to somebody else. Next up is Georgia H. She's asked to, yawn in the face of someone she thinks is the most boring. And she goes and she yawns in front of Anton. And Anton, being petty, said you could have used a breath spray. And it's like, why would you say that? That's terrible. That's mean. Hannah is asked to kiss the person she fancies and she goes for Jake. I think it was good because of the way he's just been on the outskirts, because from the moment Liberty came in and then he came in, he hasn't felt comfortable at all. He's tried his best to settle in, but he's been struggling. So I think that was good. Next up is Anton. He's asked, who would you have preferred the public couple you up with? And he kisses Georgia and you can tell she's not in it. She's not in it. I don't think Georgia's feeling him. I think he's feeling her more than she is. And it's a pity that he doesn't move on. Next up is Jake. He's asked, who do you think is here for followers? And he says, Mitch. Am I surprised? No. The audacity of Liberty to pretend to be surprised. What did she think? What did she think? Having watched this season, what did she expect? That suddenly he's changed. A leopard never changes its spots. So I'm surprised that she's faking it's surprise. Mitch, we all know, is after the celebrity, and that's it. Callum is asked to massage someone he fancies, and he massages Georgia S. It's a pity that all the guys are wasting their time on Georgia S. Georgia S, in her head, is married off to Toby. So I don't know why all these guys are doing this. And Toby doesn't even seem bothered by the fact that the guys are showing interest. He's there for a great time and is enjoying himself. You then have Demi be asked to kiss two guys that she thinks fancy her, and she kisses Chris, and it's like, the kiss was cringe. It was a bit too much. Anyway, then she kisses Mitch. I don't know. I don't know if that's what she believes, hey, but I don't think Mitch is there for love. That's just my opinion. Next up is Mitch. He's asked to kiss the sexiest islander, and the pandas, oh, you're all beautiful. And then he goes and kisses Liberty. I think Mitch is looking at the long game. I think Mitch is looking at who will stay by his side until the very end and who he can manipulate. And this is why he's chosen Liberty. And Liberty thinks she's playing him, but she's messing with the pro. Next up is Georgia. She's asked to sort of, highlight who she thinks is a game player, and she goes for Lois and says, oh, I'm friends with one of his exes. And it's like, when have you found an ex to say something positive about their ex? What is it in particular that he's done that makes you think he's a game player? And when he asks her, she's sort of backed into a corner and she has nothing to say. Then, oh no, she starts to stutter, and it's like, that's not a good look for you, Georgia. That's not a good look. So Jake is asked to kiss the two girls he would want to have a threesome with, and he kisses Hannah and Georgia S. Does that make sense? I think I think so. I think he chose the people he thought he would be most comfortable with, or people that have treated him better than everybody else. I think that's my opinion. And then you have Liberty stand up and be asked, burp in the face of the person who gives you the ick guy. And she goes for Jake, and it's just like, why? And she's asked why. She goes, he's got a foot fetish. And it's like, just tell the truth. You don't like him. You don't like him. You don't like the fact that he wasn't bothered by the fact that you split up with him. Be honest. Say with your full chest. You don't need to look for excuses. Just say it as it is. This is what happened, and this is how I feel. And that's okay. There's no need for you to come up with silly excuses. Molly is up next. She's asked to kiss the two guys that she is attracted to. So for Molly, she's asked to kiss the two guys she's attracted to, and she picks Lois and Chris. Am I surprised about Lois? No, because she's the first guy she pulled for a chat. And so for Messy Mitch to start having a conversation with Callum about how he felt, and then Callum sort of saying, you need to step out of your comfort zone and try and do something different. And Mitch is questioning him, oh, why didn't you do the same? Why didn't you step out of your comfort zone? Why did you couple up with her? And it's like, that's none of your business, Mitch. Stop being Messy Mitch and mind your business. And your couple, or the person you're pursuing to be in a couple with, you don't need to create unnecessary drama. Mitch is going to be toxic just because he knows that's how he's likely to stay on the show. If he is himself in a relationship, he's not going to stay on the show because people are going to refuse to couple up with him. So I'm not surprised he's decided to be toxic. I don't get why Molly is making a big deal about it. I think she just needs to sit back and watch what Callum does, because she was moaning, to the girls that, oh, I overheard Callum saying that he chose me out of respect, and yet he's not pulling me aside for chats, and he's not doing anything. He needs to be more vocal. And it's like, if you dated this person for 3 years, you should know what they're good at and what they're not good at. The idea that you're surprised with anything they do is shocking. in my opinion. It is shocking. You have a conversation between Mitch and I was about to call her Lucinda and Liberty, and it's like that's just the strategic couple, I'm going to call it. They're a strategic couple. I don't think there's any romantic connection there, but I think Mitch would rather be in a couple with someone like Liberty than be in a couple with Kaz. That's just my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it because I don't think he's really interested at all in anybody else or any of the girls in the villa. Liberty somehow is impressed that he called her the most beautiful. Hey, to each their own. And then you have Chris having a conversation with Toby, sort of saying, oh, I'm surprised that Molly chose me. You know, I've never pulled her for a chat or anything, so I'm surprised that she finds me attractive and she's interested in me. And it's like, everybody's interested in you. I don't know whether they're interested in you for the person that you are or for the fact that you've been in a movie and they just want the publicity that comes with it. That's just my opinion. The conversations after this game are, messy. Anyway, because Demi pulls Callum for a chat and sort of wants to know why he decided to couple up with Molly. Does he have any feelings? How did he feel seeing her kiss other people? And I like the fact that he was neutral. He didn't say anything. Yes, he's open to either or. He's open to either getting back with her if they can work on the issues that they had, or he's open to her moving on. And that's good, because then if Demi is being messy, it doesn't backfire on him, in my opinion, and I think that's where he was coming from. You have the guys talking, then Callum goes downstairs, he's talking to Jake and Anton, and Anton is puzzled that why is it Georgia keeps going back to Toby, and it's because maybe she's got feelings for him. She told you on day one that she had history with him and that he was miles ahead of you. So you need to put on your grafting boots, buddy, and you need to really graft. You can't continue to moan that why is she going back to Toby, because he's grafted and he's won her. So if you want her from him, then you need to put on your shoes and graft. I don't get how it's the audacity for me, because Liberty is trying to sell Jake to Hannah, and it's like, but you've just burped in his face a little bit ago. So which is it? Is he a great guy and you and him just didn't align, or you didn't have that thing, that spark, or is he not? Don't treat him like crap and then come and sell him to somebody else. Treat him the way you'd want him treated. You'd want yourself treated by your ex. And for her to say, I want the best for my ex, well, you haven't done a great job of showing it, love. You haven't done a great job. I like the fact that the girls recognize. I saw the hand when Kaz was kissing Lois. I saw his hand was about to go on her bum, and then I think he remembered, I'm on TV, and then he pulled it back. But it was interesting. And so the Islanders get ready for the night, and they're all sort of discussing, the guys are discussing who they're interested in and who they want to graft, and it seems everybody's making a beeline for Molly. I think the guys are just waiting for Callum to say no, we're done, and then they'll make a beeline. And I think because he's very indecisive at the moment, this is why they've decided to make a line for her and then wait to see what happens. I hope her speaking to all of them puts her off and makes her realize that maybe Callum is it, because she says, I want him to be with me because he wants to be with me, not because he's being polite. And it's like, maybe talk to him then. If you have an issue with him, talk to him. So Hannah is having this conversation with Georgia S, and I don't know why. I really don't know why people even waste their time asking Hannah S who she's interested in. She's interested in Toby, and she's gone, and she's smitten, and that's it. So asking her about anyone else is a waste of time. Hannah is wanting to try and explore things with Jake because she says none of the guys are her type on paper, which makes sense. So hopefully Jake can find someone to couple up with. I really like him, so I hope he stays a lot longer. So Kaz and Lewis have a conversation, obviously, about the challenge and where they stand. And Kaz is right to say, I've made my intentions known. I've shown you that I'm feeling you. It's up to you to decide that, are you feeling me as well, or you're not? If you're not, let me know and I'll keep it moving. And so for her to sort of say, for Lewis to sort of be vague and say he's open, I think Lewis, he likes Kaz, but I also think he's trying to play it safe. He's trying not to sort of close himself off. I think he has a better conversation with Kaz. I think he gets along with Kaz more. I think he's more relaxed and more himself with Kaz than he is with any of the girls in the villa. And right across we switch over to Toby and Georgia S. Georgia's gone. Georgia's gone. She doesn't want to admit it, but she's gone. She's past smitten. I think she's falling in love with Toby. Their conversations and the fact that they kissed just sealed things for them. And poor Anton, he has to move on because she is gone. She's not available for him. She's gone back to where she belongs, because you can see she's happy. Toby, I think with Lewis and Toby, the thing with them is they like the girls that are interested in them, but at the same time, they don't want to appear as though they came in and they were wifed off day one. So they're going to try and sort of play hard to get for as long as they can, and then eventually sort of say, okay, I'm wifed off. This is my person and this is what I'm sticking to. I think both couples are amazing, and I think they're very compatible. I think Georgia S is very compatible with Toby, regardless of their age. I think Kaz and Lewis are a surprise revelation for me. I always wanted Kaz to go after Lewis, and seeing them together, seeing them talk and communicate and just be them is giving me it's reminding me of, what's his name? The couple that won season 9. What's his name? Oh my God, the school teacher, Sanam and, oh my God, what's his name? I've forgotten. I'm so terrible at names. But anyway, I can't wait for tomorrow night. It seems Jake is going to, bow down and just say, I'm out. And I'm not surprised because he didn't seem comfortable. I think the moment he realized that Liberty was there, it just burst the bubble for him. And it's a pity that they brought her in. And I'm sorry to see him go. I really wanted him to stay, but hey, it is what it is. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 1. Bye guys.